The OnePlus 3T is surely a phone to look out for. It's super fast, it's got all the latest hardware, and it's priced very moderately for all it has to offer. And if you would be interested in all of this, then the OnePlus 3T could be the phone for you. Well, at least a few of you. The phone does have its pros, but it also has its cons. This is one from Simple Reviews, and here is the full review of the OnePlus 3T. So I naturally upgraded to the OnePlus 3T thinking it would be a smart choice, considering I'd save a whole lot of money on the 3T instead of going for a flagship device. And up to a certain extent, I am quite satisfied, but you can't help wondering that there is something missing. So before we get into that, let's check out the phone first. In terms of design, the phone has a solid full metal unibody design with the backside slightly curved towards the sides, making holding the phone more comfortable. The phone has a very premium, smart look to it, and the build quality is really good. Surprisingly, the phone is very light considering the full metal build. The screen in the front just curves slightly towards the sides on all four sides, making all the sides very smooth, which I really liked. The phone is not too massive or wide either. It fits very comfortably in my hand, and one-handed usage seems quite convenient, whether you're reaching for the volume rockers on the left side or the power button on the right side. Above the volume rockers on the left is the alert slider, which unlike the iPhone has three modes: the do not disturb mode, the silent mode, and of course the ring mode. Towards the back, I really like the fact how the antenna lines blend in so well with the design. We do see a camera bump on the back, which is similar from the 3, so the phone won't be completely flat when you place it on any surface. The phone will wobble a bit if you touch it, but that's quite marginable. The camera, however, is quite safe and you don't have to worry about it while placing it anywhere, as the lens is guarded by sapphire glass. Towards the bottom, we see the sole speaker of the phone. Next to it is the USB-C port, and beside it is the headphone jack. In my unboxing video, you might have seen that OnePlus do not give headphones, so you will have to buy them separately. So the design of the 3T is the same as the OnePlus 3, the only difference being the color. The OnePlus 3T comes in this new gunmetal color as compared to the silver color on the OnePlus 3. There's also a gold color which is common in both the models, but it's not yet available in India. In the front we have the fingerprint sensor, which I both do like and do not like at the same time. I like it because the fingerprint sensor is super fast. It unlocks the phone the instant I touch it, but the placement of the fingerprint scanner is something I'm too fond of. I do prefer my fingerprint scanner on the back, like the LG phone or the Google phones, which I feel is a more natural position. Also, I really don't like this weird rectangular cylindrical fingerprint sensor, which sometimes gets a little troublesome. Like while scanning my finger, it takes a longer time to scan my finger than most other phones that I've used. I do prefer the circular round button, which I feel is more comfortable. The fingerprint sensor is also the home button, and beside it there are capacitive buttons for back on the left and recent apps on the right. You can swap the order of the keys from left to right, and you also get the option to use on-screen keys instead of capacitive keys. I prefer the on-screen keys as I am more used to that and I find it more convenient. The OnePlus 3T has a 5.5-inch AMOLED display, but it's only a 1080p display, which is slightly weird considering most other flagship phones like the Pixel XL or the S7 Edge or the LG G5 all have 2K displays. Not like that makes a lot of difference though. Even the 1080p display on the OnePlus 3T is pretty good. The screen is very sharp, the colors are pretty bright, and the screen is clearly visible outdoors in the sunlight as well. The 1080p display was probably adopted to give the OnePlus 3T a longer battery life. On normal usage, the battery on the OnePlus 3T runs an entire day easily. The battery on the OnePlus 3T boasts an impressive 3400 mAh battery. So usually the majority of the battery is usually consumed by the display, and in this case the 1080p display does save a lot of battery. Plus the massive battery is a huge bonus too. OnePlus comes with its own dash charging technology, which is similar to quick charge but a little superior. Unlike quick charge, which usually charges devices very slowly when you're simultaneously using the phone, dash charge ensures that your charging speeds are not affected even under heavy usage. So even if you're gaming or watching some videos, your phone still charges fast. So another feature of dash charging is of course its ability to charge fast. OnePlus claims that you get an entire day of charge in 30 minutes, which is about 60% charge in 30 minutes. So I put it to the test if a dead phone can go from 0 to 60 in 30 minutes, and delivered as promised. I got about 60% charge in 30 minutes, and that 60% runs about 8 to 10 hours. Talking about hardware, the OnePlus 3T packs all the latest specs. It has 6 gigs of RAM, which is more than any other phone in the market, at least right now. Even the Pixel only has 4 GB RAM. So the OnePlus 3T with 6 gigs of RAM and the latest Snapdragon 821 processor is super fast. Opening and closing apps takes minimal time. The fingerprint sensor is lightning quick. Gaming is effortless and lag free. And I have never seen a phone reboot so quickly. It just takes about 20 seconds or so for the phone to reboot. Needless to say, multitasking is amazing on the 3T as well. The extra gigs of memory retains apps for longer periods and loads apps very quickly. The 3T has two variants, a 64 GB version and a 128 GB version. It does not have a SD card slot, but it's safe to say that with 128 GB or even with 64 GB of storage, there would be no need of an SD card. Coming to the software, the OnePlus 3T runs Android 6 Marshmallow within its Oxygen OS. The Android Nougat update is just around the corner and we can expect it on both the OnePlus 3 and the 3T within the end of the year. OnePlus's Oxygen OS, though I don't like it very much, it's quite similar, or at least they try to make it similar to stock Android, like the ones we have seen on the Google phones, like the Nexus and the Pixel. The end result is fine, but not at the level I expected it to meet considering all its specs. The 3T has the notification bar similar to the one we have seen with the new Nougat update on the Nexus and the Pixel phones, where one swipe shows all the shortcuts and the second swipe shows the rest of the information. Even the rest of the phone gives you the stock Android kind of feel, like all the animations and the home screen, the Google search bar on the top like we've seen on the Nexus 6P. So as we swipe to the leftmost, we get Shelf, which is really cool. It has shortcuts for recent contacts, recent apps. You can check weather, create memos, manage your data, storage, and battery life. And we can also customize it and add widgets. So I really found the Shelf to be very helpful. The user interface has really cool functions that really get you attracted to the phone, but at the same time the execution sometimes is slightly below par. Like I found the gestures on the 3T to be really cool. Like the 3-finger swipe down takes a screenshot, which I found to be a very nice shortcut. I would like to see something like this on all phones. There are also other cool gestures which I found really useful, like drawing a V on the home screen to turn on the flashlight, or drawing O on the lock screen to turn on the camera. There are a few more gestures, but I did not find them very useful or special, so I'm not going to mention those. The camera on the OnePlus is very good too. I wouldn't say it's extraordinary or the best that I've used, but it's pretty decent. The primary camera has a 16 megapixel sensor with optical image stabilization, LED flash, and face detection autofocus. So the hardware seems pretty standard when it comes to most high-end phones out there. But nothing really stands out in the hardware point of view. Everything is very standard. The best part is that the camera is very fast. The camera app opens and closes in an instant without any delay, and the face detection autofocus is really fast as well. So you can quickly pull out your phone from your pocket to click a good picture and put it back in your pocket and capture great images as you see them. The software of the camera is quite similar to that of stock Android. It has, as now we can say, all the expected functions like panorama, time-lapse, slow-mo, etc. It also has a manual mode, which I really didn't like. The functions in the manual mode are limited, they're not very easy to use and are not labeled as to what is what, so you will have to experiment quite a bit to get used to it. I'm very happy with the pictures from the 3T, which are very well saturated, and the color balance is pretty good as well. The colors seem quite natural, so the end product is basically quite close to what you see. The 16 megapixel sensor ensures good clarity in an image, and the exposure in most cases is pretty good too. At times image looks a little too crisp, making them a little dull, but in most cases they look alright. Low light photography on the other hand is a little below par. The pictures are not sharp at all. You can see the clarity missing. You can increase the sharpness of the image by using the high quality mode, but in some cases that makes the picture less natural. Like here, the picture adds a purple hue to the image in high quality when it does not do so in the HDR mode, but the overall image is certainly a little sharper. but it still doesn't meet my standards. I took the same picture with my LG G5, and though the purple hue is still present in this image as well, the overall image is a lot sharper and it captures more detail. The front camera is something which hasn't been done before. The 3T upgraded the front camera from a 8 megapixel sensor in the 3 to a 16 megapixel sensor in the 3T. I don't think there are any other phones in the market right now with a front 16 megapixel camera. The camera quality is pretty good and you realize it the moment you first open the front camera. The lens captures great detail and even the color reproduction is very good. The images look quite natural, so it's great for selfies and video calling. In video, the primary camera can record in 4K, but as default it's set at 1080p, so you'll have to go to menu and toggle through to 4K. You can also record 1080p at 60 frames per second, which I personally prefer. The front camera can record in 720p and 1080p. The optical image stabilization, though it's great for images, it's not too great for videos, but it tries to stabilize the videos to quite an extent. So the 3T is a great phone with the highest of specs, and it's super fast and it's great for everyday usage, but it's certainly no flagship killer. You can feel the difference between a 3T and a flagship device like the Pixel or the S7 Edge. Little things like the haptic feedback or the proportion of the icons in regards with the screen and few limitations with the Oxygen OS. So the kind of premium feel you get while using, say, a Pixel, you're not going to get that in a OnePlus. But that said, I do like the OnePlus 3T. I feel it's a great phone, and the kind of specs they actually give for such a price is amazing. The phone is super fast and lag free. The camera is really good. The user interface is pretty decent, and the battery life is a beast. It will easily run you the entire day. Plus, the phone looks really classy. I wouldn't mind showing off one of these. So if you're one of the people who wants to enjoy all of the features and specs of the very best phone at about half the price, then the OnePlus 3T is the phone for you. But if you belong to the other category where you're used to flagship devices and you're thinking of switching to the OnePlus 3T, then I would ask you to reconsider. You're not going to get the same kind of feeling with the OnePlus 3T that you did while using a flagship device. But hey, that's just my opinion. Thanks for watching, guys. This is my review of the OnePlus 3T. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, smash that thumbs up button. If you have any questions, you can tweet them at Simple Reviews or even leave a comment below. Also subscribe to Simple Reviews for more such videos like this one, and I will see you guys next time.